Because Jim writes in, he goes, we've been using a bunch of cheap Chinese Tenda mesh nodes for our church building that are no longer working well. Our building is 100 years old and made mostly of red brick and cinder block. The auditorium is upstairs with a balcony, lobby with office where AT&T's modem is, and on the main floor in a fellowship hall with classrooms in the basement. We're a small, low-budget group of 100 members. I'm looking for recommendations for a mesh network hardware to overcome the physical structure without breaking the bank. Thanks for your insight, Jim from Detroit.
Yeah, great question. And these are always difficult to answer because we don't know what we don't know, right? What mesh is going to work best in your environment? I mean, you've given us an explanation, and that's enough. Like that's unless there's more details, that's enough to place an order. And then when you get it, you're also going to find out, is it the right system, right? Because again, you don't know what you don't know. As a default, Eero is my first default. It's not inexpensive, so it's not what I'm going to recommend for you here, given that you're managing a budget. But Eero is worth every penny because it just works in most cases. Another default that I would offer is Netgear's Orbi. That's for people who need long distance wireless backhaul. Or Orbi is the best at that. I think that's still what you're using there, Adam, right? Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you've got a long haul that you're on right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Completely.
Yeah. So again, there's purpose built things, and they're all going to work in sort of generic scenarios, but you're not looking for that based on what you've described. When we're talking about feature-rich, reliable, budget-friendly mesh Wi-Fi, TP-Link's Deco is the way to go. And candidly, I always say it's like the number two, well, really, I guess the number three. If we put Eero as like sort of the generic one, and then Orbi up there as if you need your long-distance backhaul, TP-Link just sits right below them. And I don't know why. Like, there's a world where TP-Link could be at the top of this list. It's a close second or close third. It's like, for me, it's that there's this top three. And as someone long ago, I don't think he even works at Eero anymore, said to me, he's like, we can't compete with TP-Link's prices. Their retail prices are less than our cost on our similar unit because they own the factories. Like, they don't have to contract with anyone. They're a huge company. They make 1 million different products, and they're able to operate at a scale that, companies like Eero, I mean, I know Eero's like an Amazon company now, but they're still like, kind of operating as this. So like looking at TP-Link and seeing the pricing compared to everything else, at times you can be like, whoa, what's the catch? That's the catch. Right. There is no, that's the catch. So as far as which to buy, I think the Wi-Fi 7 stuff is still pretty expensive. And so I would stay away from that if budget's a concern, solely for budget. Take a look at it. But otherwise, the Wi-Fi 6E stuff that they've got, that's what I would look at. And, if I look at the XE75, so that's a 3-pack of Wi-Fi 6E. Let's see what that comes in at. Yep. You guys want to take a guess? Wi-Fi 6E, built to cover 7,200 square feet, 3-pack mesh system. You want to guess as to what that 3-pack? Okay.
Just, yeah, I was going to say probably 350 because they're really down there. Yeah.
$219 right now on Amazon.
Yeah. Oh.
Right. So, and you can add more, right? Right. And
buy
that's
2 sets and you're still under budget.
Yeah, exactly. They say it's typically $249. Right now there's a deal for $219 or $220. So
but that's last week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could have gone up or down since then. You don't know. Yeah. But that, that's where that's that's what we're looking at for this stuff here.